This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
My dear affirmative, my questions require a yes or no answer. My first question, how are you today? Are you fine? Yeah. Have digital enabled business modules produced jobs in your local communities? Yes or no? Yes or no? Learn to listen. Have digitally enabled business provided clear energy, hence impacting positive impact on the environment? Have digitally enabled business provided clean energy, hence impacting positive on the environment?
Please repeat that again.
Okay, you don't understand this. Okay, I will educate you a little. We have one of the digitally enabled businesses. We have M-Copper. M-Copper resulted into producing solar energy that actually reduces on the wood fuel that our local communities actually local communities actually encountered more in local communities used more, and this reduced on the what? Transpirational rates, hence bringing drought and causing other effects. Do you believe in development?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Are you aware most of the businesses are you aware most of the East African developed countries actually based on digitally enabled businesses?
On taxation?
Yes or no?
On taxation?
Are you aware most of the East African developed countries based on the digitally enabled businesses?
Yes, and they're exploiting. That's
okay,
why
enough. Is there a difference between 0.1 and 1.4 on the grading scale?
Pardon?
Is there a difference between 0.1 and 1.4 on the grading scale?
0.1 and 1.4
Yep.
on the grading scale.
Yep. Okay, thank you so much. You can rest. Dear judges, I'm Best J. Emmanuel, fourth negator from Hope SS. And we come as team negators to actually show you that digitally enabled businesses have actually improved life and the betterment of people in East Africa. How? First, I'll take you back then, where Ugandans used to wear backcloth actually. We used to wear backcloth, but see us now, all dressed up in cool clothing. This is how digitally enabled businesses are going to develop their trade in East African countries. You can't come and say here that actually most people don't access digitally enabled what? Business because of these devices can't be afforded by them. I'm telling you, we are going to move from then to now, actually. We are moving forward as one. As I also correct one of the second speaker from Team Affirmative, who also came here and told us that Jumia actually occurs. Oh, okay. I didn't know if he understood that actually East African communities promote exports and imports. This includes that actually we buy goods, some from out and others we take out. So digitally enabled business doesn't basically occur in our countries. Digitally enabled businesses are actually coordinating with other countries, hence improving the trade. Also correction that actually gig workers come from the local communities because they know they're community-based. For example, Jumia deliveries. Like I can say someone from Maya actually can sign up for Jumia because he knows which people in Maya are actually gonna be in. Okay, thank you so much. I choose to rest my case with the one what they says actually we can complain that bushes have roses or rejoice that roses have bushes. Thank you.
Panel resolved. Precious Joanna Kim, Our Lady of Africa, SS Namilyango. So, negators. My first question is that, have you answered the how question?
Come again.
Have you answered the how question?
From
your case. Was your main discussion revolving around job creation?
Yeah.
Do you know that disruption of traditional industries is exploitation and it's also an effect of exploitation?
No, please.
Do you believe that low quality goods can be sold digitally?
No.
Does Jumia market more of local products than foreign products?
Pardon?
Does Jumia market more of local products than foreign products?
Repeat the last time.
You don't know what you're talking about, you don't know? So do they create market access to small business through advertisement?
Yes, actually, platforms like Jumia have pages where local people can actually sell their
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did any of your speakers talk about social entrepreneurship, including solving social and economic problems?
Can you be slow, please?
So, panel, I asked the negators that, have they answered the how question? And they say yes. And if we look at their whole case, they have just been explaining that they have just been explaining about the benefits of social entrepreneurship, and they have not been showing us how actually the digitally enabled business models are promoting social entrepreneurship instead of exploiting the people. Panel, I asked them that, I asked whether Jumia markets more of local products than foreign products, and they said no. But we all know that Jumia is a foreign company, so they market more of foreign products, leaving out the local products. So now if these local products are left out, panel, these local products won't be getting customers as much as the foreign products are getting customers. So now if these foreign products are getting more customers, they're actually getting more income than these local products, which is produced by the local communities. Therefore, these digitally enabled business models are actually getting more money than these local communities. Now these digital enabled business models come and say that, let us help you, we advertise your goods, because I asked the negators that, do digitally enabled business models help to create access to small businesses through advertisement? And he said yes. And what we understand from this is that these digitally enabled business models, as they are doing advertisement for their businesses, they say we should help you. So they include these local products produced by the local communities in their advertisements. For example, these art and crafts that are produced in these local communities. So now when they add this art and craft to their hotels or to their businesses, they attract people from out. But then when these people come from out, they actually spend more time in their businesses, spend more money on their hotels than on this art and craft. And at the end of the day, these businesses actually don't give these people enough money. Therefore, these digitally enabled business models get all the money and the local people benefit nothing from it. It is showing that these people are actually being they're actually being exploited. And panel, I asked if
Thank you for this debate. It was a fair debate. It wasn't really so good because of the deficit of content that people had, but then also because of the kind of strategy people took in interpretation of this debate. Your motion was, this House believes that digitally enabled business models in East Africa exploit local communities under the guise of social entrepreneurship. So there were three things we were supposed to do before I tell you what you did. We were supposed to link digitally enabled businesses to social entrepreneurship. Then we were supposed to link whatever we have resolved as the link between digitally enabled business models in East Africa to social entrepreneurship. We're supposed to link it to local communities and then evaluate whether it is exploitative or beneficial. To me, the team that won this debate is one that was able to directly link whatever it was saying to the local communities. Team Affirmative fronted for a case that was entirely against digitally enabled business models we did not fully get their link between digitally enabled business models and social entrepreneurship, but rather we got issues or challenges faced with digitally enabled business models. We got things like outcompeting the local industries, deceptive advertisement, and we also got things like foreign maybe exploitation. Now, the gist of the matter was not just to highlight these points, but to explain them and link them with the debate or with what you're trying to front for in the debate. These are the scores. I gave both of you 13 for style. Your style is really not good. Most of you have not mastered the speaker roles. Third and fourth speakers, please read the manual, do much more training, and understand how to play those speaker roles very well. Strategy, I gave the affirmative 22, I gave the negative 25. That is because they took on an extra role to link their arguments to the local communities and how beneficial their arguments were to the local communities. Content, I gave both of you, both teams, 23. The content is really lacking, and my advice would be, please do more research. Do more research. Internalize the motion, do research, and do research explicitly, not surface research. We came up with a lot of statistics with no sources of information, a lot of claims, a lot of guesswork. Someone guessed approximately, I think it is 40% of something. So let us stop using guesswork when it comes to facts. There are no facts without figures, and figures are quoted. Thank you. And according to me, in totality, the negative 61, the affirmatives 58, the win is for the negative team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In this debate, I want to appreciate Affirmer 1, Negator 2. That's really good. Keep it up. 1. But the advice I would give to Affirmer 1, yeah, there are very many tournaments that you could go to where they could allow you to make a preemptive argument, okay? For example, before even the team negative comes and they tell you what they are going to talk about, where it's allowed for you to say, the judges, yes, we know team Affirmer to come and say A, B, C, D. But I'm kind of a judge that always advises people not to give a preemptive argument. Do not presume what they will say. Because in most cases, you may presume what they will say and you give them an alternative, which they will come and give you, and then they are able to construct a very strong case and bring you down. Okay? So maybe in those tournaments, but even if it would be another tournament, please desist from doing so. Of course, at the end of the day, your other speakers will listen to their case and they will be able to rebut. Okay? These are some of the questions that came. Now, to Team Affirmative, when they talk about that, maybe we're having companies like CJ, maybe like Cafe Javas, maybe Jumia, or KFC, then you come and tell them that, no, actually, these companies are advertising foreign products. Now, which foreign product is Cafe Javas really marketing? Is it that the chicken is international, that it is made in the US and that chicken is not prepared in Uganda, or what? That's just a question. Okay? Now, where did they base my judgment from? Team Negative, you were in support of the digital enabled business models. There's a question that carries on from, I think, the second speaker, they said, to the fourth. The question they asked you was, okay, what do you intend to do to the people that are not able to access the digital means, for example, the phones? They asked you a question, okay, maybe if you're now talking about things like Jumia, where people are going to use the phones and what about the people in the rural areas that cannot be able to access such means? What are you going to do for them? There's a certain answer that you gave, I'm just not recalling, but it totally didn't answer the question they asked. Because at the end of the day, if you're now talking about digital, the biggest percentage of the digital, we are using machines, not machines, but we are using things like computers, we are using things like phones and whatsoever. So their question was, what about the people that cannot have the access to that? At least I liked your second speaker, maybe when they were asking you about the issue of deceptive advertising. At least your second speaker, why I applauded him, he was really able to make some very good rebuttals. Now when they talked about the issue of deceptive advertisement, he told them that no, of course there's a means that, for example, even if we deliver a certain product to a person and it does not fulfill to the expectation according to a certain provision of the law, though you talked of, is it the Labor Law Act, which never exists? You said, of course, according to a certain provision of the law, there's room for this person to take back. But now the major point that for me that I was looking at is, now if you are saying that the digital means have been able or are not exploiting the people or whatsoever or are going to be fulfilled, then what about the percentages of those people that cannot have access to that? Personally, I believe with Team Negative, you had answered just that question to them, because that was the outgoing question that they had for their argument. Maybe, according to me, you would win such a debate. So, because of that, that's why now it takes it off from. Because at the end of the day, if you're not now able to talk about such a thing, then there is no how you're going to talk about how advantageous that the alternative you have talked about is in towards promoting the social entrepreneurship. So, the totalities of the marks are, I give you 14 for style, I give them 13. That is because of the issue of the fourth speech. And also, there's a certain speaker of yours, was it, I think, the first speaker, you left even the podium before time. As a first speaker, you have a burden that by the time you leave the podium, the judges have fully understood your team case. Meaning we are not meant to understand your team case. In the second speech, it is your role as a first speaker. Content, I give you 25, I give them 25 because they had better content. However much they even never had any source of information, but then of course we took them to that. Now at least you couldn't compare them to that, could not now make a comparative analysis on the content. For strategy, I also defined, I give you 25, I give them 23, making a total of 63 for affirmative and 61 to negative. So to me, it's a win for Team Affirmative. Thank you.
Just like the previous debate, this was also a bit lacking in arguments and formation of arguments. However, we had a Team Affirmative that was saying that your entire discussion was around the fact that digitally enabled business models have exploited local communities. And Team Negative, you said that no, rather than exploit local communities, they have instead been able to promote businesses and development in these local communities. Moving on, Team Negative on the other side, you had employment as an answer, as a point of argument, and then you also gave access to markets and I think local participation entirely as your standpoint. Now, you gave us a rebuttal as to deceptive advertisement that these people can actually have a return policy. And then, personally, in your explanation of how these people are able to acquire employment through these digitally enabled businesses, you at least showed us a causal link between the employment and the what, and how these businesses are able to give us employment. But at the end of the day, the person who was prior was trying to show you how lacking in your building of arguments was. Now, remember that the role that you had above your speaker roles and everything was, one, to show us whether these people have been exploited or whether these people have not been exploited. That it has rather been able to do what? To benefit the people. Team Affirmative, if you had continued with your argument of not taking away the fact that there are certain merits and not based your entire argument on trying to prove that there are more demerits, personally, I do believe that you would have won this debate. So I gave Team Affirmative 59 and Team Negative 60, totaling up to, 60. That totaling up to a vote of 2-1. It's not a unanimous decision that Team Negative takes the day.